All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. This is the November 8th St. Lucie County Emergency Operations Center briefing for Nicole. My name is Howard Tipton. I serve as the County Administrator for St. Lucie County. With me today are Ron Guerrero, our Public Safety Director. We have Dr. John Prince from the School Board. He's our Superintendent. We have Fire District Chief Nate Sparrow. We have St. Lucie County Health Department Director Clint Sperber. We have Sheriff's Office Captain Sigmund. We have State Representative Toby Overdorf. And we have our Commission Chair, Sean Mitchell. So what we want to do is just give you an update on Nicole. The St. Lucie County is currently under a state and local state of emergency as of 7 o'clock this morning. And our Emergency Operations Center is currently at an activation 1, which is our highest level of activation. Nicole is currently 400 miles east-northeast off the northern Bahamas with 50-mile-an-hour winds. St. Lucie County is currently under a hurricane warning. The current storm track has the center of Nicole coming on shore just north of Vero Beach as a Category 1 hurricane. Our area will feel tropical storm force winds starting Wednesday afternoon and will continue through Thursday afternoon. We are also under a storm surge warning with an expected 3 to 5 foot storm surge. Seas will be 20 to 30 feet. The surf is expected to be 10 to 12 feet, which is going to severely test our beaches and our dune systems. Our primary concerns are coastal flooding from the storm surge, low-lying area flooding, significant beach erosion with dangerous surf and rip currents. Depending on rainfall and tides, we could also expect other flooding as well. In terms of announcements, Florida Power and Light is currently staging resources for response at the county's fairgrounds. County office closures, except for the Supervisor of Elections and the Sheriff's Office. All county offices, including the tax collector, property appraiser, board of county commissioner, clerk of the courts, court facilities, and the health department and the city of Port St. Lucie will be closed Wednesday and Thursday. They are also scheduled to be closed Friday in observance of Veterans Day. I mentioned the supervisor of elections. Her office will remain open as much as possible throughout this event. Today is election day, so do encourage everybody to go out and make sure that they do vote. I want to mention, too, that the beaches will be closed as of 5 p.m. today. There is going to be no reason for you to get out in that water. The surf is pounding, and doesn't matter how strong a swimmer you are, you're going to get swept away. So please don't go in the water. Our transit operations will continue to run through today as normal. Tomorrow, we will see bus service continue until noon. For our normal operations, for our standard service, paratransit will be running dialysis trips only on Wednesday, and then we'll reassess for Thursday. All other paratransit services will be suspended. Advantage ride services are closed Wednesday and Thursday, but we will be recognizing those who have already had reservations. Encouraged our riders to monitor the schedule using the Route Shout application, which is available on Apple Store and Google Play sites. The St. Lucie County Landfill and Waste Pro will continue their operations for as long as weather permits on Wednesday. And I would just mention again, for those of you who are outside trying to trim up bushes, that time has passed. We're not going to be able to go and pick up the debris that you're leaving at the side of the street. So please stop any trimming, and we'll get to it on the other side of this storm. With that, let me turn it over to Public Safety Director Ron Guerrero. Ron?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Ron Guerrero. I'm the Public Safety Director for St. Lucie County. As far as evacuations, we are strongly encouraging those who live in the barrier islands to evacuate, and those as well in the low-lying and mobile homes. Again, this is a voluntary evacuation. I repeat, this is a voluntary evacuation for those residents, specifically in the barrier islands and North and South Hutchinson Islands, low-lying areas, as well as mobile homes. We encourage them to seek shelters with friends and families, and we're going to be opening 3 shelters tomorrow at 10 a.m. I repeat, shelters will be open, 3 of them at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. They are for general population, a pet-friendly shelter, the Westwood High School in Fort Pierce, the general population shelter at Treasure Coves High School in Port St. Lucie, and the special needs shelter at the Havard Fenn Center in Fort Pierce. So again, we're going to be having openings those at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. But again, we always encourage those who are looking to evacuate to seek shelter with friends and families where they will be feeling more comfortable, and the shelters are a place of last resort. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Let me ask Chief Sparrow from the St. Lucie County Fire District to come up next.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We request all residents, today's the day to batten the hatches. Today's the day you should be shoring up what you need to do around the home. Winds tomorrow are going to deteriorate, and the last thing you want to be out there is with plywood or panels trying to install them at that time. It's our experience over 7 hurricanes probably in the last 15 years. The majority of the injuries happen both in the pre-storm and post-storm phase. And the pre-storm phase is really where we have some of the more serious injuries when people are trying to rush to get shutters up. Be a good neighbor. Help your neighbors out if they're trying to do that in advance of the storm. People that are preparing their generators, abide by the manufacturer's safety instructions on it. Never run a generator indoors or in your garage, even during the storm. If post-storm you need to use it to power your home, make sure you're following the safety instruction and point the exhaust away from the structure. We have had problems in the past where folks were overcome by those fumes. With respect to power line emergencies, we ask that you call if there's a genuine, legitimate life safety hazard or a structure hazard. A line against your house that's arcing or catching fire, definitely call us. Anything that looks like a genuine life safety emergency. However, poles that are flashing, we can respond to it. We can really do nothing about that until FP&L arrives. They tend to suspend service at around the 30-mile-an-hour range, which is kind of low by our response standard. So please don't flood 911 call lines with those type of emergencies. There's really not a whole lot we can do with it without either FP&L or FPUA's assistance. Like I said, I'm going to circle back to help your neighbors and friends out, let them get secure for this storm, and we'll get through this together on the backside. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Let me bring up our Health Department Director, Clint Sperber, next.
Thank you, Howard. As far as last resort, I do want to reiterate what Ron Guerrero was saying. We do have our special needs shelter, but again, this is a last resort. Ideally, if you are able to go with the family or a friend, do so. If you are still able to travel out of county, do so. However, with our medical special needs shelter, which is located at the Fenn Center, we will be able to provide care for you during the storm. And let me just explain to you what this special needs shelter is. So a person eligible for special needs is someone whose needs exceed basic first aid provided at a general population shelter, and their impairments or disabilities are medically stable. And I have a few examples for you, such as a dialysis patient, an asthmatic who needs electricity for a nebulizer, or someone with a respirator requiring self-care with a caretaker. So a couple more important things. If you are going to our special needs shelter, make sure you bring all your required prescriptions, including diabetic supplies. Bring clean clothes. And also make sure you do have blankets. It is kept pretty cold inside there. If you're living in a home with a private well that might be affected by floodwaters during the storm, you are advised to take precautions against disease-causing organisms that may make your water unsafe to drink. So make sure you have plenty of bottled water before and after the storm. And also, Chief Sparrow did mention somewhat about the floodwaters. Definitely keep yourself, your kids, your pets out of floodwaters because they could contribute to numerous health hazards.
Did want to mention we have a Sheriff's Office representative here, Captain Sigmund, but typically what they will respond to is, are there going to be curfews? And the answer is that there are no plans for any curfews at this time. So with that, though, we have lots of parents who want to know about school schedules, so let me bring up Dr. John Prince, who's our superintendent.
Good afternoon. Just want to update you on school closures. Today, Tuesday, will be a normal day for our public schools. All activities that were previously planned will go on as scheduled at our schools, including all of our after-school programs. We are going to be closed Wednesday and Thursday. Friday was a previously scheduled holiday. We will be communicating with parents with regards to Friday night athletics. So I would encourage you to make sure that if you get a school messenger or you get a text from the school district, please make sure you read that. If you have an athlete that might be participating in a Friday night event or a Saturday event where some of the things were previously scheduled that may be adjusted due to the storm. Our plan is to return to school on Monday. We anticipate that we'll be under normal operations on Monday. And once again, you can check our local website for St. Lucie Public Schools, and also we'll be sending out regularly scheduled messages to our parents via phone and text just to keep them updated on what our plans are. But I anticipate we'll be back Monday. Thank you.
Anytime we have a storm event, we work closely with the Department of Emergency Management at the state level, and I'm pleased to have State Representative Toby Overdorf here representing the state and to share his comments.
Thank you, Howard. For those that don't know me, Toby Overdorf, State House, and what I'd like to basically say is a couple different things. Number one, the state is standing by. If in fact the county does need to have their resources augmented, the state's available. The state will be there. I think we've demonstrated that before, and we will demonstrate that again if that's at all possible. The second part is that please keep informed as to what's happening out there with this forecast. Last night when I went to bed, the slated track was for Hobe Sound. I woke up this morning and it's far north of us. So please keep track of this and remember that we had a storm over on the west coast that took a big jog to the south at the very last minute. So please be aware. Please stay tuned with that. Finally, I spoke with representatives from FPL as well, and besides them staging here, we've seen a great augmentation of their grid in the area here, a lot of hardening, and that was a great way they were able to get back their services very quickly this last time around over on the West Coast. We haven't been tested over here on the East Coast with that, but I have every confidence in FPL that they will get those services back up and running if, in fact, we have issues here. So thank you very much. The state is standing by, and we're here to help.
Thank you, Representative. And lastly, I'd like to bring up Sean Mitchell, who is our commission chair, for his remarks.
Well, thank you, Howard. And I'm just going to try to reiterate what everyone here at this dais has told you. And it's the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. We have a great team here. I wish you could see all the people out here working for us. But just please adhere to what you've been told. If you can get your shutters up, today is the day to do it, not when the winds pick up. And as the chief said, the fire chief, that most accidents happen prior and after the storms by people out there trying to do things they shouldn't be. Look out for your pets, look out for your children, and I just want you to know that I'm very proud of the operation that we do here, and Godspeed to everyone. Thank you.
That concludes our prepared briefing. We're able to answer any questions that you might have. Yes, sir.
Curious, why are there no mandatory evacuations for
So the question is, why are there no mandatory evacuations? And so what we're trying to do is just make sure that we educate people as much as possible. And so we've got a storm surge that is significant. The rainfall and the winds are not as high as we would normally. If we were looking at a category 2 or 3 or anything higher, then we would certainly make it mandatory. But the storm surge has everybody's attention, and everybody needs to pay close attention to what's going to happen. Any other questions?
how long are
Sure.
the shelters going to stay open?
As long as needed. The storm right now is expected to subside Thursday afternoon, and so we'll make sure that everybody has a place to go before we start shutting them down. But certainly by Friday, we would hope to have everybody back to where they need to be.
Question from TC. What is being done to prepare for the potential flooding on the county's part?
So we're taking a look at all of our ponds, all of our canals and systems, making sure that our culverts are clean. We're actually in good shape. We've not had a lot of rain here recently, and so we're fortunate that we have a lot of capacity right now in a lot of our systems. We're working close with the South Florida Water Management District as well. And so I think from a water perspective, we've got some capacity, and that's the good news. We're expecting somewhere between 3 to 5 inches and possibly up to 8. As we know, if you've gone through these storms before, all you need to have is a band that kind of sits over you, and all of a sudden you've got 10 inches. And so, we're going to see those areas of flooding. What we hope doesn't happen is we have a really heavy band and a high tide at the same time. The tides right now, we've got full moon, we've got king tides, and so that just makes things a little more challenging for us. So we're hoping we're going to be on the drier side of this storm, and that'll be less of an issue for us.
And a follow-up regarding erosion and the beaches, is there anything being done to prevent that?
Well, we've put millions of dollars worth of sand on the beach. The beaches actually function and the dunes function as a protector for the properties that are on the beach. They're going to do their job. The challenge is that they are going to, it comes at a cost. That's the job that they do. And so as soon as the storm ends, we'll be out there doing the assessment. The good news is the sand is typically just near shore. And so it has a chance to, over the coming weeks, to come back on in some form or fashion. But we anticipate a significant erosion event, to be sure.